think there are decisions which can be taken or supported by AI, but I don't think you can fully replace the CEO. I think from my perspective, artificial intelligence has a couple of advantages. It can process a vast amount of data. It is a prediction machine, but it can only predict what it has learned before in a way. It can automatize a routine task, and it can text as if it was a machine, as if it was a human. What do we do then as humans differently than machines? The basic question is, machines have artificial intelligence, but we have a human intelligence. And our human intelligence depends very much from our emotional setup. Our emotions are there for a good reason. Evolution has helped us, or we have gone through an evolutionary process over many thousands of years, and we are still having these emotions. So they have a reason to be. They give us direction by what we like and what we don't like. They help us to plan into the future. They help us to be together with other social beings. We are together, and when we are together, we can create better solutions together. We also have conscience by emotions. They help us to have a moral compass. We all have this kind of little wrinkles, little movements in our face, which we are able to detect and connect with without our cognitive knowledge. So we are processing a lot of data which is invisible. But by that invisibility, we are able to relate with each other, and that helps us also to show empathy. If you're able to empathize with other people, it creates trust, and you would need trust to collaborate on a large scale. Without trust, no collaboration is possible. You have to trust yourself, you have to trust the other human being, you have to be able to create trust. That's all the task of the CEO, who is creating the culture of the organization. It's almost impossible to think that you align behind a machine. Why would you do that? You are not getting rewarded emotionally. So if a machine smiles to you, there's no reality in this kind or realness in the smile. But people need to be recognized and to be valued. We know from attachment psychology, from very early childhood on, that the baby needs to be seen, it needs to be mirrored, it needs to be contained, and that is key for human development. And we, as human beings, need that all our life long. And I think this CEO's sociability is creating the whole setup of the organization, and it's driving, at the end of the day, purpose. And I think what we have been seeing in our younger generation, they are all purpose-driven. People want to contribute to a purpose. They don't want to do dull things. They don't want to only look at machines and let them calculate. They want to bring their inner way of being to a purpose, and this purpose cannot be designed by a machine. It has to be something which connects with us human beings. We also talked about already about strategic thinking. I think strategic thinking is much more than number crunching, and it's much more than data analysis, you know? And I think sometimes these are little moments where you just have an insight. You go through a street, you see something, and suddenly you know, oh, I have to rethink aspects of my strategy. We underestimate the capacity of intuition, and intuition which is relying on experience, but also intuition which is just coming out of an emotional reaction towards some kind of event or experience the person is having. The last point, which is extremely important, is that CEOs are responsible for ethical decision-making. Ethical decision-making a machine cannot do, because I think until so far, ethical dilemmas have the difficulty that they appear as if they were a paradox. So CEOs of today have to go after commercial goals, and they have to go after the greater good. They have to look for social responsibility, but they also have to look for making money. And I think holding this tension between these two seemingly dilemmatic aspects is not something a machine can be doing. Maybe, I don't know very much about qubits, and I learned that they can have two positions at the same time. Maybe, I can imagine that maybe one day paradoxical thinking, a machine is capable to do that. But for the moment being, it's so far away for me to imagine that I think this is one of the key competencies of the CEO. in addition to that, artificial intelligence is a tool. It's man-made. That means it reproduces mistakes, fake news, biases, stereotypes. And the task of the CEO is to create an organization where everybody is treated in a fair and just way. And you only can do that when you know about your own biases and stereotypes. And I think we cannot yet filter out all kinds of misleading information in the system we are training artificial intelligence with. So I think we need CEOs as human beings. They can work together with the machine, yes, and I can imagine a pairing, but I cannot imagine taking it over. The CEO's task is much too important and much too, at the end of the day, emotional. If you talk with the CEO how he has taken some of the decisions, very often you hear it was my gut feeling. So what is the gut feeling? It's about emotions. And I think the successful ones listen very often to their gut feeling.
In fact, if you look at my title, I'm not even asking, will it replace? I'm asking, when will it replace? Meaning, it's happening. My dear friends, I know you don't think it's going to happen. We just need to wait. And the key reason why is that AI is not something that has started and finished. If you ask me a question about AI in 2018, I give you a very different answer than I give you in 2023, because AI has changed dramatically since then. So the question is, can you guys imagine what AI is going to look like in 2027? Most of us cannot. And I think that you're going to see incredible number of advancements, and many of the things that you guys are talking about, I think we will solve by then. I'm also a CEO, and I honestly cannot wait to be replaced, because then I can go to Bali and relax, and the business will work on its own. So I have a slightly different bias to you. You think you cannot be replaced because you've done this for so many years. I cannot wait to be replaced. So what CEOs do is set up structures, like you said, set up strategies, but CEOs also do a lot of everyday work. So you take what's relevant to the company, and on the basis of what's relevant to the company, you set up structures, you set up strategies, you give commands, and then you reply to queries. And of course, you have to ensure its long-term success. So I personally think, Moshe thinks that, it's very complicated to set up goals. I think goals are quite easy. You need to make money, you need to make profit. How do you make profit? You make profit by high revenue, low cost, right? How do I make revenue? I sell a lot. I make sure the goods are delivered on time. How do I minimize cost? I have high optimization. So, and AI loves goals. If AI is really good at goals. So that's why it's the first thing that I think AI is really good at already at this point. So this is a screenshot from ChatGPT. If you pay them $20 a month, which is the best $20 you're going to spend in your life to upgrade to version 4 of ChatGPT, you go to the top of the screen and you click on the button that says Advanced Data Analysis. And what you're going to do is you're going to upload your own documents. So this way you take advantage of what's general, what ChatGPT already knows about the world, and you can upload your own data. So I routinely upload documents from my clients. I routinely upload documents that are relevant from my own company, and I just ask it questions, because now ChatGPT is able to use your own context data using fairly sophisticated technology, combine that data with what's already available on the model, and give you very relevant answers. We are still at the very, very beginning of how we interact with AI. Our idea of how we interact with AI is very much based on the idea that we'll ask questions and AI will come and answer our questions in the kind of ChatGPT sort of world, or any generative AI. But it's just the beginning. So a colleague of mine and I actually wrote a paper in Harvard Business Review that came out this year that said, look, there is at least 6 different types of models that you can use. I'm just showing 4 of them here that work very, very differently. And for example, we have this idea that the only way to interact with AI is to ask questions and then see what the answer is. But you can easily imagine something what we call the coach GPT, where instead of asking questions to AI kind of sits there and observes what you do, and on the basis of the observations of what you do, gives you advice. By the way, this is already happening. Many of us who use Microsoft products already get advice from Microsoft saying, hey, you shouldn't be replying to this email like this. You shouldn't be replying to that email like that because it's not going to get a good reception. It's called Microsoft Copilot. It's not available to everybody yet, but there are already a number of test clients, of which we are one of, where we are actually able to have the company look at our own emails and our responses to emails to actually tell us what to do. So again, you're beginning to see beginnings of machines kind of slowly helping us out more and more and more, and I think they're going to help us increasingly more. And then you can take it to a more complicated level, which is once machines can have a look at one person's email or one person's set of behaviors, why not many? And they can start looking at driving better collaboration between us, coordination. CEOs, unfortunately, don't see much. The CEOs only see one layer in the organizations. I myself don't know what is happening in the depths of my organization. If I put a machine that looks at everybody's email and says, here is a missed collaboration opportunity between one part of the organization and another part of the organization, I think I can go and the machine can work on my behalf. So I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on vacation in Bali when the machines will do all the work, and then we'll just get to relax. Thanks a million.